What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Getting into this episode of Y&R, Phyllis is annoying. Like, Phyllis is just, her whole scene with Abby was just crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make any sense. So, Phyllis is saying basically she doesn't want to do business with Abby because of her fight with Summer. First of all, that's a personal matter that has nothing to do with business. And Summer and Phyllis are not in business together. So why should their argument and their fight derail your smart business sense? Abby opening up a lounge in the new hotel, the Grand Phoenix, that can do really great business. That could bring in a lot of money. And Phyllis, of course, is allowing personal to interfere with the business. And she sat there and called Abby unprofessional because of her fight with Summer. How is that unprofessional? When her and Summer had that fight, that was not at a professional event. That was at a friend's event, her cousin's event. You know, that was their bachelorette party. It was something completely private. It had nothing to do with business. So how was that unprofessional? The way Phyllis was acting in her meeting was unprofessional. Like, she basically sitting there accusing Abby of being jealous of Summer because she's young. She's an up-and-coming influencer. I had to laugh at that part. Why would Abby, who's beautiful in her own right, and yeah, Abby is obviously older than Summer, but she's not old. And she's still just as beautiful as Summer, probably if not more. And she has way more money than Summer would probably see in a lifetime. And she's building her own empire. She has her own brand. She has her own things. Like, she's not living off of anybody. She's making her own way. Abby, granted, she got the money from Victor. Granted. But still, Abby has always lived a nice lifestyle. Always. But at least this time, she's not. I mean, Abby, if she wanted to, she could sit on that $500 million and do nothing with it. Sit there and let it collect interest. She doesn't have to work. She doesn't have to do anything. She's choosing to create a brand, an empire. I don't see Summer doing that. Being an influencer, I mean, yeah, it can open up doors for you, but that's going to take some time. At least Abby is making big money moves and big money deals. You know what I'm saying? Abby has a lot of business experience to her credit. You know what I mean? So why would she need to be jealous of Summer? For what? You know, Phyllis, the way Phyllis acted at that meeting, it just proves that she's not a smart businesswoman. And this is, to me, this is why Phyllis will never be taken serious in the business community. Because that argument between Summer and Abby had nothing to do with business, nothing to do with the hotel, nothing to do with nothing. It was just personal between them. That had nothing to do with Jack. You know what I'm saying? So why are you calling her unprofessional? You sat back as CEO of Dark Horse and depleted the entire company. And what did you gain from that? Nothing. That goes to show Phyllis is not a smart businesswoman. You sold pretty much all of Dark Horse's assets, all their real estate holdings, except for the hotel. You sold all of that. And you got no money out of it. Because you're not the owner of the company. So you made no profit, no money at all. Number one. Number two, you tried to sell the hotel to yourself and you got burned in the process because you were not smart enough to look at the fine print of the contract. That goes to show she's a horrible businesswoman. Like, look how she was when she was CEO of Jabot. She sucked. She tried to start her own accessories line. Look what happened to there. She had to steal from Jabot. She's a horrible business person. This is why I think Abby should thank God she's not doing business with Phyllis. I don't think she should. Phyllis doesn't even own the Grand Phoenix Hotel. Like, she doesn't own that hotel, so why not go to Adam and do business with Adam? Adam is technically the owner. On paper, he's the owner. So why not go do business with him? Phyllis is a fool. A plum fool that has no smart business savvy at all. And it was so funny how she tried to sit there and tell Adam that, oh, he's just, you know, this guy, you know, basically he owns a company that pretty much is not a company because, of course, she sold all the real estate holdings. So he's just a guy in a penthouse with a bunch of money. So what? He has a whole bunch of money. And what do you have, Phyllis? Nothing. You can't get a loan in that town. Not even Devon himself would give you a loan. And he's a billionaire. Jack wouldn't give you a loan. Nobody would give you nothing. Nobody would do business with her. So in my opinion, Phyllis is the one who's jealous. Everybody else got tons of money and businesses, and they got the funds to create a business. Adam, this is what Phyllis doesn't understand. I think this is what a lot of people don't get. Adam never cared about Dark Horse. He never cared. It's not like he started that company. He just took it from Nick as leverage and to stick it to him. That's the only reason he took it. And he made millions of dollars off of a company he didn't even start. In my opinion, that makes Adam very smart. Like, seriously, you took over a company and you doubled your profit. Like, come on now. You doubled it. Thanks to Phyllis selling off the holdings. That's why he didn't stop her from doing it. He could have easily stopped Phyllis from selling those properties. He didn't want to because A, he didn't care about the company. B, it was going to make him a fortune. So why would he stop it? He has more than enough money now. He could start his own company from scratch if he wanted to. But I have a feeling that if things go the way I think they will, his next takeover will be Newman Enterprises. Just a thought. It could be. I'm actually happy that, Adam offered Devon the option to buy the Grand Phoenix Hotel. I think it's a smart business move. And I think it'll be good for Abby in the long run, because now instead of doing business with Phyllis, she could be doing business with Devon. And her and Devon are already in business at Society. So this is a win-win. Even though him buying this hotel would be conflict because it would come into competition with the athletic club that he already owns. But he can kind of merge the businesses as one. He could have the Grand Phoenix over here, the athletic club over here. Still be making money. So one, he's going to own both. So he'll figure it out. It was hard seeing Victor all weak and feeble like that because of these treatments, the side effects and stuff. But at least the treatment is working. It kind of irritated me. Let me tell you something. Everybody should know I'm a big Victor Newman fan. I am. I'm a huge Victor Newman fan. But I call him out on his BS too. And what irritated me about Victor was he pretty much gave so much praise for Nick and Victoria for destroying Dark Horse and getting the real estate division back up and running at Newman. Why would you give Nick and Victoria all the credit for that when they didn't really do anything? Phyllis is the one who did all the work on that. She's the one who went behind Adam's back, selling off all those properties and real estate holdings to Victoria and stuff. She's the one who did all that. And selling the Jabotique buildings and stuff back to Jabot. She's the one who did all that. So why are you praising Victoria and Nick for something that they didn't do? They had nothing to do with destroying Dark Horse. Phyllis destroyed Dark Horse, not them. So I don't know why he's giving them such high praise. I wish Victor would stay out of this custody battle, because now he's basically telling Nick that he's about to do something that's going to shift the custody battle. He's about to right a wrong, basically. And he was on the phone with somebody telling him to get the job done or do whatever, make it happen or whatever. So he's up to something to make sure that Nick ends up with custody of Christian. I really wish Victor would stay out of it. On this, I wish he would stay out of it and just let it play out in court. Just let the judge, let the chips fall where they may. Whoever the judge wants to have Christian, they will have Christian. I feel like it's stupid of Victor to get involved, because he told Abby that he regretted bringing Adam back to Genoa City. At the end of the day, Adam is his son. And Victor keeps playing these little games and stuff like that. And it's crazy to me that he doesn't realize by playing this game, if you do something that's going to hinder Adam from getting custody of Christian, a wounded Adam is a much more dangerous Adam. That's why I said a minute ago that I have a feeling if things play out the way I think they will, Adam will go after Newman Enterprises. If Victor does anything to ruin Adam's chances of getting custody of Christian and Adam finds out Victor's behind it, best believe Adam will not only come after Victor, he will come after the entire Newman family even harder than he ever did before. You could mark my words on that. I have a feeling he will. Adam is not to be played with. They think he's a sociopath now. Have you seen Adam when he's been wounded? And people take things from him and they come after him? He comes back after them 10 times harder. 10 times harder. They should know that by now. Adam is nothing to be played with. He's just as savvy and devious as Victor. In my opinion, Nick and Victoria combined couldn't take Adam down. And Victoria is smart, somewhat. Nick is somewhat smart, but the problem is they're not as savvy. They're really not. Like, when it comes to taking Adam down, the two of them combined couldn't get the job done. Why do you think they always got to run to Victor all the time? Because they know Victor's the only one who could really match wits and go up ahead against Adam and win. Or possibly come out a winner. But Victor also can lose when it comes to Adam too. Because Adam knows Victor's tricks. He knows how to win. Just as much as Victor does. That's why I feel like Victor needs to stay out of this. Because you're waging a war at this point that you don't need to be waging. You know, you might want to hold your horses and pump your brakes on it. So, anyway, moving on from that. I do enjoy the family scenes between Chelsea, Connor, and Adam. I enjoy it. Here's my thing, though, as far as custody of Connor. Adam basically wants Connor to live with him full time now. Since Chelsea's had him all this time and stuff, he feels like it's his turn to have him. I don't see why everything with them always has to be full custody or nothing. Why can't you just do joint custody? I do agree with Adam. Boys do need their fathers. They do, but they need their mothers too. They need both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? They need you both equally. But Adam, as a father, you know, guys have to teach their sons how to be men. You know, that's something that a woman just can't do. So he does need his father, but he needs his mom too. You know, so I don't see why shared custody is never brought up. Like, why is it always just, oh, he should come live with me, that's that. Why does it have to be full sole custody or nothing? It should just be joint custody. He spends half the time with Chelsea, half the time with Adam. But I can understand where Adam's coming from. The reason he wants Connor, part of the reason he wants Connor to live with him full time, obviously, is because he doesn't want Connor living at Nick's house, which I totally understand. But, you know, I feel like taking this to court would be the worst thing to do. You know, Chelsea sitting there talking about, oh, she ain't got no criminal record or whatever, but I agree with Adam. She is a con artist. This custody, if they decide to take this to court, it can get messy in the worst way. Because Adam, she could bring up all the things Adam's done, but Adam can bring up all the things she done. He could force Victoria and Billy to testify on his behalf. He could subpoena them to testify. And they can testify how Chelsea came to town in the first place. We all know the history of that. So it would definitely work against her. You know, he could bring up all her dirt. He could bring up her mother's dirt, everything. He could bring up everything. And chances of custody would be 50-50 at that point. You never know who a judge would decide, you know, who he would, you know, give custody to of Connor. You would never know, you know, because it can be 50-50. So I don't think she should risk that. I think they should come to some type of agreement on shared custody. I think that's just the best way to do it. And I also feel, now, don't get me wrong, I don't agree with the way Connor was being towards his mother and Nick, because I felt like he was being disrespectful and rude. And you know me, I don't tolerate kids being disrespectful and rude. I don't. But I totally understood where his anger was coming from. Because his mother's known for quite some time that he was alive, and she waited this long to tell him. And then when he wants to spend time with his dad, it's like she keeps trying to interject and be like, oh, it's getting late or we should go. No, let him spend time with his father. They've been, you know, he just found his dad again, you know, after thinking the man was dead. At this point, though, you know, I feel like Connor is way more smarter than Chelsea gives him credit for. The boy is smart. He's not dumb by any means. He's a very intelligent kid. But I feel like she doesn't give him that credit, you know, because he is a child. So she thinks of him as a child. And he is, you know, he is a child, but you got to handle it a certain way, especially when you're dealing with somebody, a child who's smart and know how to read through the BS. Even when Nick came in there trying to hug him and be all buddy-buddy with him, Connor wasn't having it because he knows that Nick doesn't like Adam. He know that. He could feel the tension. He's not stupid. Nick continues to annoy me. When Chelsea was talking about Connor and Adam and their bond and stuff, Nick's sitting there talking about, oh, Adam doesn't know how to take care of a child. Shut up, Nick. Shut up. When you and Sharon first had your first kid, you didn't know nothing about kids either. But you learned. You know, Nick is a good father, I give him that, but it's not like you started out being a good dad. You had no experience being a father. Just like Adam had no experience. But he is good with his kids, though. He's very good with Connor. And it's a learning experience for him. He'll learn as he go. You know, I think what this is, Nick is just purely jealous of Adam. Like, he's jealous of the bond that him and Chelsea share. Because that's what Nick is really scared of. Because he knows that he still wants Chelsea. And he's scared that Chelsea's going to go back to Nick. Back to Adam. That's what Nick is scared of. Nick is afraid of that. And you can see it all over his face. But I hate how the writers are making it seem like Nick and Chelsea had this great love story, when in reality, when they were together, they were boring and stiff and dry together as a couple. I just don't see them working out as a couple. Why would you want your brother's ex-wife anyway? Like, why? Out of all the women in the world, why would you want her? The chemistry is not all that between them. So it's like, move on. You know? Nick needs to just go sit down. I'm so sick of him and his little jealousy and thumping his chest. And go sit down somewhere. Anybody scared of you? Like, have a seat. But anyway, that was pretty much the entire episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about today's episode. I will see y'all all later. Peace.